I'm Karen. Nice to meet
Karen,
you.
yeah, nice to meet you. I'm Brandon. Thanks for joining. Oh, Karen, what's your role? Sorry, I should have asked.
Oh, I'm a curriculum developer.
Okay.
All right. So what we decided, Brandon, was to take you through a submission by one of our teams and kind of what they would go through. So we actually chose StayWoke, which is a beginner team that actually just mere moments ago is announced as the beginner finalist winner, the winner for this season.
Oh,
Um, yeah.
great.
So the premise of their app is that one of the girls actually was in a car accident a few years ago with her family because a driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. I think it was the driver of their car, and they got in a serious accident. So they decided to make an app to detect whether or not someone was starting to fall asleep at the wheel, and to send alerts.
This is extremely useful.
It is actually, yeah. But
Until
anyway,
self-driving cars come. Yeah.
that's true too. And I actually think there might be some app that does this already out there, but
Yeah.
yeah. But at any rate, so where they would start is, number one, they'd start with defining the problem and coming up with the solution, and they'd start with a very simple paper prototype. So this is their actual prototype of their initial idea. You can see done on paper and pencil with paper and pencil. And then this would align with our lesson that is on paper prototypes in our curriculum. So we take them through the process of what a prototype is, why you should do it. We have some videos, and then we kind of take them through the different elements of user interface, different things they should think about as they're building it. And then the final thing would be an activity that would be sketching out the screens for your app, which is exactly what they did. And then we do have supporting worksheets for them to fill out. In this case, it's just a simple, we give you some phone screenshots that you can just use with paper and pencil. Many of the teams actually do this online using online tools, but some of them, and we encourage them, is just to start with paper and pencil.
Is that because anybody can do this with paper and pencil? Like, you don't want to encourage tools necessarily, like what is it, Figma or things like this, because anybody has access to paper and pencil. So this is the encouraged format.
Yeah, we do. And we've even, I think one of the, I don't know if it was one of the, yeah, I think this particular video even talks about it from Google engineers. They say in the video, we actually use paper and pencil rather than going digital initially. So we do encourage it. And a lot of our teams, because we're global, don't have as much ready access to the internet. And so as much as they can do offline as possible, we do encourage.
And then the next step to this is to, like, when you're getting user feedback, you can easily just like take that paper to somebody and be like, what would you do? And instead of like having it on a screen that you can't take out of the computer lab and they don't have phones or whatever. So
Right. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And then, so we have them do the prototyping. The other thing we encourage is the idea of the minimum viable product. So, many of the teams also have these grand ideas of apps that they're going to build, and it's going to solve world hunger kind of thing. But another big thing we tell them to do is to really break it down and actually prioritize features in your app, because chances are you're not going to be able to put everything that you want into this app. So we have another lesson on MVP where we just talk about that. About the need for prioritizing, figuring out which features are the most important. And then we also have an activity here, another worksheet, which is basically, talk about planning it and listing them out and prioritizing them. Assuming that then they would follow this is like, okay, this is feature 1 we're going to put in.
Yeah.
If you get that done, then we'll move on to feature 2, etc.
So I forget, when they apply, do they already have the paper prototype, or they come just high level? Here's the problem. Here's the solution. Then they're accepted into the program, and then they develop the paper prototype, and then the MVP or the outline for the MVP.
No, they actually come with nothing, not even a problem. So
not even a
our
problem?
first step,
Okay.
yeah. So the first step in our curriculum is actually the whole ideation process, where we ask them to identify a problem, and then from there come up with a solution. So we have them do it in that order. So I can actually show you just kind of, we have identifying your problem. We have some technical stuff there, but then, researching your problem, choosing your actual problem. So the first 2 units is all about even just coming up with the problem.
I see.
And then we move on to identifying solutions, brainstorming, and come up with the possible solution. Yeah.
Karen,
So there are steps.
I was just going to say, one interesting thing we were looking at yesterday is we were looking at some different teams' paper prototypes, or like Figma prototypes or whatever. And we saw on several idea boards the reminder from mentors to teams, like, it often takes 2 full months to figure out the actual problem you want, even for these girls. So it's a big part of the beginning.
Oh, it's that long? Really? So they're accepted.
Of course, it just depends on who you are, how long you're working on this. Is it a whole semester? Is it a year? Is it just a month that they're doing this really quickly? Like how they're doing it.
But once they're accepted, they go ahead and they start like reading through all this material, and then they develop that paper prototype.
Typical scenario is that a leader would be like, okay, let's form a team. Like that's the first step. And then like, let's match with your mentor, and the mentor will suggest like what they should work on. So if you're a very motivated girl, you will go through all of these materials. I'd say the majority of people like don't do that just on their own.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of them have mentors that kind of lead them through.
Yeah.
And then so once they've actually come up with their MVP or what we actually want to build, then they do start building it. We do start with some coding lessons to get them, and we use 2 different basically block-based coding platforms as our main technical or coding platforms, which is App Inventor out of MIT, and then Thunkable, which is a kind of a spin-off of App Inventor. But we've in the last couple of years, we've also added, a lot of teams want to move on to the text-based, so we've added some support for using text-based languages as well. But then just to show you what StayWoke came up with, this is I'm just going to show you a little bit of their technical video.
When do they record this video? When in the process?
Usually right towards the end.
Okay.
We have it in, towards the end of the curriculum, but I'd say in the final weeks, a lot of the time I think is spent like coding and getting the app to work.
Yeah.
So then so there's 2 videos, the pitch video, which is really talking about the problem and their solution, and just kind of pitching it to people. And then the technical is really about demoing the app, how it works.
Oh, okay.
And we also asked them to show some of the coding. So this is where they're actually showing some of the coding behind their apps. Let me just, this is pretty much where I was, but it's just
Inventor and personal image classifier to build our app. MIT App Inventor was used to build the foundation of our app, and personal image classifier was used to create our model. Yeah. First of all, you just tell us that when this screen is open, personal image classifier switch to video, the clock is enabled. Then when personal image classifier is ready, the label one text change to ready, and the button, because previously also the button was disabled, but then now the button will be enabled. When our clock timer is done, it will toggle your camera facing mode, call personal image classifier, which is our model, to start the continuous classification, and it will also disable the clock. So here we can see that because we told personal image classifier to start continuous classification, so you can see when personal image classifier got the classification, if our auto is on, the minimum interval of the personal image classifier is set to 500. If not, our personal image classifier will not be 500 seconds. If the label text is your focus, the dashboard, the screen background color changes to green, and the sound stops. You can set night mode on to false. That means the night mode switch will not be on. Then else, the label text equals to you are not focused. Else, if label text equals to you are not focused, sets the dashboard background color to red. Then our source will play the sound and with this particular volume, and then it will start.
In future, we plan to add sleepiness statistics.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that's just their explanation, and they actually did a pretty good job, I think, of going through the code. A lot of the teams just kind of show the code behind things, but don't really explain it. So the idea is that a lot of the judges, we have global judges, not all of them are gonna or even know how to look at code. So we want the girls to explain it and kind of prove, number one, that they coded it and that they understand what they coded.
Do they have
And then
do they have
Go
to
ahead.
use the block-based coding so that it's understandable, or can they write code?
they can use any language that they want or any platform,
Okay.
as long as they can share the source code. Yeah, basically, as long as they can share the source code. So there's a range of what they use, but this is the main App Inventor is the main one that we cover,
Yeah.
just because it's an easy on ramp, especially for younger girls.
Yeah.
And then so this is the actual App Inventor platform where they've got their app in, so they've got all the different screens, they've got a dashboard, and probably that's the one where you can, so they've got like 6 different screens.
Yeah.
And then the blocks behind it, so you go to the blocks and you can see, and she was kind of going through that herself. So our idea is that they at least start with this, and then if hopefully they return and participate in subsequent years, they might then move on to, say, a text-based language, like Python.
Yeah.
A lot of girls use Java, JavaScript. Python's popular now, especially with the AI stuff. And then Swift, a few girls are into Swift is kind of the ones to use. Yeah.
A question about App Inventor. Can you actually export this as code? I imagine you can. Like, what if they wanted to take this and then implement it, right? If they really, can you actually?
So actually, you can actually build it for Android or iOS. So it's a direct. It will package as an APK for Android, and then also an IPA for iOS. And so you can go directly from App Inventor and publish it on the Play Store or the App Store.
But do they do that, or did they not get to that part? Is that just kind of out of scope?
Yeah, we encourage it, and there are teams that have done it, but I would say, and we don't have any statistics on how many actually do. Yeah.
It like there's less than 1% that publish like right after the season, that project. A lot of them will go on to do something else that they publish, but like what they're doing for Technovation is like, we're hoping it's a learning experience that then they can, build upon. Some of them do take it and do something a little bit more, but what we've seen over the years is that like maintaining your app is just like, if you're going to, I don't know, junior year of high school and you have to focus on, where you're going to college and your AP classes and everything, like maintaining your app is like a side project that people just drop.
Yeah. But if they get to this point, you're happy, like what we're looking at here.
Yeah, this is good to have a solid working app.
Yeah.
And usually if they get to the finalist level, which is like the top 5 teams in their division, we definitely do a check of their code to make sure that it's actually a legitimate working app. Not all teams get to this level.
Right.
They'll have an app, but it might not have as many features as they had originally hoped.
So can you run the app in this environment?
Yeah, I can run it. I can run it on my phone.
Oh, okay.
So there's an app called the AI Companion. Thunkable has their own app as well, and you can just, like, if I just say connect, I scan it with my phone and it will run. So that's kind of in a test mode.
Mhm.
In addition, if you wanted to, you can, if you say build the APK, because I have an Android phone, it will give me a link that I could then actually download the whole app onto my phone
Oh, that's
and
great.
install it. Yeah. A little more difficult with iOS because of their kind of lockdown on things.
Restrictions, yeah. Wait, can you show that the QR code again? Can I do this?
Oh yeah. For the Connect, yeah, sure. Let me put it on screen one so that it's there, because that's where you want it to start. AI companion, yeah. So that, though, you'll have to have the AI companion to run it.
Okay, I'll download that.
Okay. And then just to kind of so that gives you an idea of the process, but
Yeah.
just to kind of go back to and then this is just throughout the curriculum, we give lots of support, and as I said, especially for App Inventor, kind of going through some of the general computer science type things they would need to know. It wouldn't be a strict computer science class. It's really, these are the things, the bare essentials that you're going to need to know in order to build your app. We wouldn't cover it from soup to nuts, and they can pick and choose kind of what they need to learn about this. But then just kind of going through what the course entails. I might just go back to the course, so it might be easier to see it. So we have 3 divisions. So this is the senior division curriculum. So as I was saying before, initially, most of it's all around ideation. Especially if they haven't done any coding, we kind of show them the different options for what they can use to build their apps. Then we want them to research the problem, really find out statistics about it, whether or not it's a big problem that is worth solving. We also encourage them to partner with local organizations, and then actually select a problem and write a problem statement. Then we also bring in AI. We encourage girls to use AI in their apps. As I said, we also are adding support for text-based solutions, so web apps with Python. And then we also talk about market research. So there's the entrepreneurship element to this. So getting users to use their app, all the while continuing with the technical aspects. So interspersing those 2 things. And then this year we're adding a lean canvas as kind of the main product that they have to produce for the business aspect. And then more technical stuff, more AI stuff, and then working their way through if they're going to use AI, how to train their model. And then again, more technical stuff. And as we get to kind of into the middle of this, we have 12 units. Now we're actually talking some more advanced concepts for kind of data storage using APIs. And this is where then they would also start working on their videos. So outlining them, recording them, editing them. And then another aspect that they have to submit is their learning journey. So they actually have to write about their process, how they built their app, what they use as resources, that kind of thing. And then finally, they would submit their project at the end.
I was just looking at this curriculum is so amazing. I was just thinking, like, what did this curriculum look like the first year at Technovation? Like, was there even a curriculum when it first started?
No, the answer is no. It was like, it was only in, I think it started just in LA at the very beginning. And it was based off of like what were then super new, like, app like pitching sort of things. And so like they just had the final goal and mentors along the way. And then they started creating the curriculum,
Right.
super basic on like docs. And then they put it on one of these like really early like global learning sort of platforms. I forget the name of it. And it was there, and that's when like India exploded and some other countries, and yeah, started seeing some worldwide uptick. And then we have switched platforms many times, but yeah, it's looking very different than it used to look. Yeah.
I can kind of show you what all the offerings. So we, like I said, we have the 3 divisions. So the beginner division curriculum is more condensed, not as text heavy. Junior and senior are pretty similar, other than we don't ask the juniors as much on the entrepreneurship. They just have to do a user adoption plan. The seniors have to do the lean canvas. And then we're just launching this AI in action, so really focused on the AI piece of it. And then, you know, we've got this core curriculum. So this is for the kind of quick and dirty ones, or shorter if they have a short time span. The kind of what we figure, these are the core lessons you could get away with and still come up with a project kind of thing.
I see.
Yeah, and then we've also added several courses around particular SDGs. So if girls are interested in solving a particular type of problem, we give them kind of really focused resources and some app ideas and examples of other Technovation girls that have made apps around that problem.
This is all public. I see it here.
Yeah, it's public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And just to highlight too, Karen, would you be able to click into one of the SDG, like maybe even the technical tutorials by SDG, because that's really interesting to me. But I love the examples in all of the SDG units too, and how we feature alumni in all of them. Yeah, this is mainly just like a menu of like, hey, what are you interested in building? And so then they can access like more tutorials. And then if you go back and go into any of the like whatever your favorite SDG is, I'm curious.
So let's go back. Well, SDG-3, just because we have a couple of alumni examples. This was a team from Japan. It was pretty cool. They made it was all older people using origami to kind of keep their mind going and to continue interacting with each other. So I highlighted their app, and I usually try to have an interview with the teams and just to kind of talk to them about their process.
Really?
And then we have another example from this girl Jessica, who made this Flip the Switch. So it was a mental health app, and she used AI to include a chatbot that would give you daily affirmations, kind of thing. So highlighted hers. She actually wrote a tutorial for us about her particular app. Then I was also able to include another alumna who's an entrepreneur who started her own company called and created an app called Heal Cycle. So this one has a lot, just because it's a really popular SDG for girls to focus on. And so I talked to her and interviewed her and asked her all about her stuff. So and then we also link out to all those different tutorials, give them some other ideas of what they, types of apps they might make. So we really try to support them as they make their way through, especially the ideation process.
Interesting. So do you have the pitch video for StayWoke?
I do.
Oh, nice.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, they are. Oh my gosh, they already updated. Literally, Brandon, we just announced the grand prize winners at an event like an hour ago. So this is fresh.
Hot off the press.
Yeah. But down below are like the other. Yeah.
So I can at least show you the start of this. Let me just do it here. This is the StayWoke.
On the 10th of December 2023, my family was embarking on a journey. Our driver had worked all night and didn't sleep. He fell asleep on the steering wheel and we crashed. That day changed everything. I wanted to make sure that never happened again. not to me, not to anyone else. Every year, thousands of people get hurt because drivers fall asleep at the wheel. From 2017 to 2021, drowsy driving has caused almost 30,000 deaths. That's scary. So, we got out a physical and online survey where we asked over 50 drivers if sleepiness while driving is a problem in our community as it is globally. Over 80% of drivers said yes. 35% said they have dozed off while driving. They even gave up on ideas on how to solve it. And that's how we built StayWoke, a mobile app that helps drivers stay alert and awake while driving. It uses facial recognition to watch your eyes and face. If it sees you're sleepy, it'll wake you up with an alert sound. If it's too dark to see your face, the app talks to you, asking you questions to keep you alert. If you vibrate, play music and shows your sleepiness stats to help you know your wake times. Similar apps like JavaScript Alert only beeps. StayWoke is much better. It checks your face, interacts, vibrates, and gives the driver personalized control. You can change the settings to match how tired you get. It's like making your own safety assistant. Using a mobile app solution was our best option, as it is readily available, and over 80% of the drivers surveyed had an Android phone. It is also a cheaper solution compared to getting new devices for your vehicles and drivers. StayWoke supports the United Nations Goal G, 9 and 11 by saving lives, keeping people healthy, and using smart technology. We want our roads to be safer for everyone, kids, parents, and the whole world. It's not just for drivers, it's like kids like us who love our families and want them safe. We're team absolute and we didn't StayWoke because one accident was one too many, and because kids can change the world too.
Wow.
So you're already using.
Yeah,
That is
that
cool.
was good. Yeah, I love how they're standing with all the traffic behind them.
I like how they're like, and our app is better. That was the best
Yeah.
part with the check mark.
That's a Technovation tradition,
Oh, it
Bryn.
is? Oh, okay. When did they complete this?
This year the submission deadline was like early May.
Yeah.
Generally it's like end of April, early May, depending on holidays and that kind of thing.
Right.
But we have chapters in the Southern Hemisphere, so a lot of them have actually already completed their apps for next season.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
Just because we're global, people are kind of doing it in different times of the year.
How old were those?
But ours, they'd be between 8 and
12.
12.
Young.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you first played that technical demo, I didn't think that they were that young.
I know. It's
Interesting.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that interface, I forgot to mention this, that interface in App Inventor looks just like code.org. Don't they have the same thing? That's how you learn how to code, with those blocks. I mean, I guess there's other platforms that have it too, but that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, code.org has a very similar one. Theirs is actually a little more text-based. I think you can actually jump back and forth. And theirs goes directly to JavaScript.
Oh, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. This is App Inventor is they've got some weird behind the scenes. It's several languages meshed together. That's why it's
Really cool.
that's why you can't go directly from there to the text.
Okay. Yeah, but the fact that you can package it, bundle it up, and send it to a phone, right? I think that's great. That process is not that easy, so that's impressive that it can do that automatically.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good option for especially new people learning.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Karen, I don't know if you want to, the other quick thing I wanted to share is like maybe the senior or junior rubric, how this year we're experimenting just because there are so many teams that are like, wanting like a lot of teams want to learn the coding, but some are like, I just want to get prototypes done. So if you can open that and scroll down to the technical video to show like what we're doing there. So basically, like all the teams still have to give a demo of their app and show like their user testing, but then depending on if they used Gen AI to like help them create their app, or if they really just built pretty much, on their own using traditional resources, then they have to share different things. Like they either describe their basically like process and how they built if they used with Gen AI, or yeah,
Yeah.
like these girls did.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, you're gonna get more of that, definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's cool. What other kind of changes are you gonna make in the next year? I don't know. Like, are there gonna be like different processes, more available tools for students, other things like things you're thinking about?
Probably the biggest thing would be possibly introducing some external like devices or sensors, that kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've kind of talked to people at Microbit a bit, but yes. So especially if they're trying to kind of collect data potentially to use in an AI model.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
I think
like,
we're
I-
really trying to look at also the Gen AI stuff and just how
For sure.
that's going to impact what they create.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So like maybe like with those Raspberry Pis, those little like customizable devices that you can program, basically. It's actually
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
easy to do. Hey, Matt, did you get
Yeah.
any? Has anyone done anything like that?
yeah. Actually, I feel like I'm not sure what a country, but there's a couple of Middle Eastern countries that they must
Yeah.
have something in their curriculum, because we always get a couple of
Oh, yeah.
teams that submit something that's pretty,
Mm.
intricate with either a Raspberry Pi or Arduino or something like that.
Right, right.
And then also, what did the Bionic girls use? Because they were the ones that had like the like a vibrating wearable for people who take out their cochlear implants, like connected for sounds if they're sleeping or studying, like that they need to be alerted to, because one of them got left in her hotel room when a fire alarm went off and her parents ran out without her. But
I'm not sure that might have been Arduino.
Arduino.
I'm not-
Okay.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much for going through this.
Well, have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Happy Friday. Enjoy the
Yeah.
weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Take
All
care.
right. Thanks,
Bye.
Brandon. Bob.
Thanks. Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe. More interviews and demos coming soon.